how to determine what real estate agents are making on the transaction. In other words, what is the listing agent commissions? What are the buyer's agent's commissions? In the previous video, I talked about how to leverage procuring cause, which is when an agent is entitled to the listing commissions or the buyer's commissions. And you can get that video at our free series at winnerscheck.org. But in this video, I'm just going to talk about the numbers real quickly. Now, in a listing agent situation, a listing agent goes to the seller and say, I'll sell your, let's say it's $1 million home. I will sell it for 5%. It could be 4%, it could be 6%, it could be any percent that people negotiate. And then the listing agent says, well, if you'd like it on the MLS, I will offer a percent of my commissions to the buyer's agent so that they bring buyers to the property and offers to the property. So we're going to do in general. Now, all these commissions really are negotiable. However, different brokerages allow their agents to negotiate within ranges. Many brokerages will say you can only take 5% commissions or 4% commissions, nothing less. Some will say only 6%. And then they say, but commissions are negotiable, and their point is, but we'll walk away if you try to go lower because our agents can't go lower. Independent listing agents can do things that sometimes are very advantageous, like 1% for the listing, 3% for the buyer side, or even 4%. Just an aside, in their seller's agent course, which I will do in the future, I will say that there's really a threshold choice when determining how much a listing agent and seller should offer to a buyer's agent. I think you should either offer them very little or more than average. So when you offer them more than average, they bring their strongest buyers, they're ones that may be with reload companies because they're going to make more money, and they want to close those deals, so they hardly put up any negotiating fight. They just tell their clients to cave and buy, cave and buy. I've seen it so many times. You incentivize the buyer's agent, you're going to get top dollar if there's any buyer around that wants to pay it, because their listing agent are going to say, go for it. I've seen it. They also, when there's buyers and more, they hold them in the transaction. So there's no point in skimping a little bit. Either just skimp all the way and offer them very little or offer them a lot. That's a side note. So now let's talk about what really normally happens in the industry. 5% listing, 2.5% to the listing agent, 2.5% to the buyer's agent. Could be 2 and 2. Could be 3 and 3. It could be sometimes 3.5 for the listing agent, 2.5 for the buyer's agent, but that doesn't really serve the seller very well in the circumstances I can normally think about. So let's talk about numbers. Let's say it's $1 million listing. That'd be 20 at 2.5 at 5 total. That'd be 25,000 for the listing agent, 25,000 for the buyer's agent. So how does this break down? Listing agent gets the listings, pretty stoked. In our market, unless there's something wrong with the property or it's ridiculously overpriced, the listing agent says, I'm going to sell this property. I'm going to probably sell it pretty fast. It's 25,000 in my pocket. I'll spend a few grand marketing, maybe less, put a sign up, do a little social media marketing, find more buyers, whether they buy this house or another house is great. Tell all the sellers in the area I'm a great listing agent and do a little marketing for that. But I'll probably put $23,000, $24,000 in my pocket. Maybe they have to share it with their broker. If they're like me, they're an independent agency, whatever they net, that's theirs, minus what you have to pay Uncle Sam. Now the buyer's agent is going to look at this. They can go on the MLS. Sometimes I've seen it on Zillow and other places. There's a trend towards revealing commissions. Zillow's pretty darn inconsistent about it. I've seen it sometimes and sometimes not. But let's say it's 2.5%. That's $25,000 to the agent that introduces you to the property. Now, if you call up the listing agent and say, show me the property, boom, the listing agent gets to what we call double side in the industry, and they'll make $50,000. That's what listing agents love, and there's plenty of reasons, as I've discussed in our free video series, why the listing agent could ethically advise their client to work with their buyer, because they have control of the lender and the buyer and the facts, and they know what's going on and can advise their sellers well. That's just one reason. Plus, most of the strong buyers these days are, not many, but most, but many strong buyers, especially after losing out in multiple offer situations, go to the listing agent and maybe call up an attorney and say, could you review the contract? How do you think I should go about finding some experts to look at the property? Many ways to get around the need for a buyer's agent these days. So anyway, that's what we discuss more in the free video series at winnerscheck.org. It's absolutely free series. I basically cover, my goal is to cover, I've got about 6 videos in there right now, and I'm going to cover, when you ask questions, I'm going to cover the things you need to protect yourself and be the winning offer so you don't have to settle for the homes that buyer's agents can get you in this market. Like if you ever wondered why you never get to buy those best homes in the neighborhood, let me just say, professionals, we know the best homes in the neighborhood and the ugly homes in the neighborhood. And when there's best homes, the real estate professionals buying for home, family, friends, or businesses are following these strategies. And sometimes buyers over time, or because they've really put their brains together and understand the process, like I'm sharing, figure out how to leverage the buyer's agent commission to get the homes that they want, leaving you in the dust working with buyer's agents, having to settle for the significantly overpriced properties, having to pay way too much in a multiple offer negotiation because you don't have the information, like where are the other bids, where are the other offers, and you're just like, all right, I really want this home, I'll pay $100,000 too much. Or, you just don't even have access and you have to buy the homes, the ugly homes. So more on this, a great video series. I've done most of it today, breaking it up into these videos about this length, 5 to 10 minutes. And you will be able to see, if you sign up, you'll see the titles and you'll pick on the ones that are of interest to you. My name is John McConnin. I'm a real estate attorney and a broker. I can refer you out all over the country as a broker and share these strategies and help protect you. In California, I'm also a lawyer and a broker. And I can, my whole goal for this, because there's lots of ways I do things as a real estate attorney broker. My whole goal for this is to actually help you buy those in-demand properties. That's the purpose of this series. Educate the people that want to be educated into how they can actually get those great properties instead of having to settle for the properties that now the real estate industry is like controlled by these places like Zillow and Realtor.com who take you as the product because they're giving you great information for free, and then they're selling you to buyer's agents and teams frequently populated by inexperienced agents. And I've seen so many mistakes. It happened to me once, and probably will share it in a video. It's happened to me twice in Florida. Once trying to buy a home in the circumstance where the agent wouldn't share the commission with me because I saw the home first, even though I could have had him refer it to me in California. And once I bought a home with an agent who was great in one area and put us in the wrong zip code by about 2 miles in a second. And you just don't want to work with buyer's agents unless it's a luxury property and your buyer's agent is like an authority in the area that can help determine pricing so you can avoid aspirational pricing. You don't want to negotiate an aspirational pricing. You want to negotiate on the real value. Thanks. Talk to you later. Bye. winnerscheck.org for the free video series.